Hello and welcome to Think and Insights. I'm Malaika and I'm your host on this podcast. Welcome to episode 2. Last week we talked a little bit about quarter life crisis, and one of the main aspects for me is the finding your path, like knowing what you want to study, or once you're done studying, knowing what career path you're gonna take. Like I told you last time, I'm 25 years old and I recently graduated from my bachelor degree and I'm taking a second gap year. But I'm gonna tell you how I got there. So I'm gonna go really quick because you need to buckle up. I graduated high school in 2017. Then I went for a second high school diploma called the IB, International Baccalaureate, in Norway, in a school called United World College. Then graduated from there in 2019 and took a gap year in Brazil. Started med school in 2020, hated it, switched to biology, a bachelor in biology in 2021, and graduated from said bachelor in 2024. I've always been a very bright student. I've always known what I wanted to do because ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor. And on top of that, I still am an eldest daughter and kind of an eldest cousin. People had expectations, big expectations for me. Oh, Malaika, she's gonna do big things. She's gonna be a big person. But then the year was were passing by. I wasn't graduating from college. I wasn't starting my career. And those people expressed disappointment. On top of that, I was in France where all of the things that I just mentioned are not appreciated. Nobody gives a fuck that you speak 5 languages. Nobody gives a fuck that you traveled a lot and you can adapt quickly to any situation. You can navigate cultural differences. They don't care. They care about your diploma, they care about the internship you did, they care about your professional experience. So I was here feeling like I had disappointed the whole planet, feeling like, I know it's very kind of main characterish of me, feeling like I failed, feeling like I would never be able to use all I had learned during all of the things that I did. And I started comparing myself to the people around me, all my friends that are successful in graduating and starting their career, in building their own businesses, in just bringing their visions to life. I had none because for as long as I could remember, I wanted to be a doctor and go back to work in Burkina Faso to make the healthcare system there a better place. And all of a sudden, medicine was not for me anymore. And Burkina Faso was not for me anymore either. So I was lost. What do you want to do with your life? What are you going to do with your life? And also, are you good? Like, are you smart enough to achieve things? Because med school was brutal. Brutal. Like, I have PTSD and I am scared of studying to this day because it was awful. So, anytime I would see one of my friends getting an award, making a video to say that they finally opened their business, they graduated, they started their jobs, I was jealous. Like, I muted some of them on social media so I wouldn't see their achievement. But it wasn't the kind of jealousy where I blame them for the fact that I'm going nowhere, or at least that's how I felt. Or like it was kind of like a nuance envy. I'm happy for you. I am truly, truly happy for you. But I am more sad for myself. So I cannot be seeing your achievements. But I am really rooting from you from where I am. And I would celebrate. I would go to my friends' graduations. I would go to their openings. I would celebrate with them. Because at the end of the day, they did it. And I'm so fucking proud of them. I am proud of them from the bottom of my heart. But I was sad for myself because this girl that so many people thought would be doing things, was doing nothing. Nothing. Not a single thing. And I think it's okay sometimes to be envious. Not to the point where you would hurt your friend because they have something that you don't. Not to the point where you cannot feel happy for them, because you can. But it's normal to feel sad for yourself, to feel bad for yourself, to feel a little bit jealous. Like, I would like that too. I wouldn't like to take it away from you, but I would truly like that. So, first of all, if you ever felt that, I want to tell you that I am admitting it right now on the internet, on camera. It's okay. My friends know that I love them, that I would never ever do anything to hurt them, and that I'm always, always rooting for them, and I'm proud of them. But at the same time, I was jealous. I was envious. I wanted what they had. So I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I had like a little push from, first of all, one of my friends who sat me down and he asked me, why do you want to be a doctor? What do you want to achieve with the diploma, with the title? And I told him, I want to make people have access to a better healthcare system. I want them to be more aware of all the alternatives, all the options, all the health issues. Most of all, I want to make healthcare better for women and children. So he asked me, is there any other way you can get there? Then my therapist asked me if there was no expectations from your parents, if you were free to do whatever you want, what job would you be doing? This was actually very hard because answering it would mean acknowledging that I have a dream that I might never be able to achieve. And I went to Ottawa, where my mom was invited as a guest professor at the university. I met her colleagues, different professors from different fields, and they would always ask me, oh, what did you do? What did you study? And I would tell them what I told you: Norway, Brazil, everything. And they were amazed. For the first time in my life, people looked at me and they were like, what you did is great. It's so interesting. You have such a nice profile. Like, if you ever apply to Canada, please come to our school. I was like, what? I do? I have a nice profile? I do? And I looked back to all I did. I did things that many people will never, ever have the chance to do. First of all, I speak five languages. Okay, I'm gonna say four and a half because my Portuguese is kind of dying right now. But that's still three more languages than a lot of people I know. I got to travel way more than many people my age ever had the chance, and I do acknowledge that privilege. I taught archery classes. I worked with kids that were sick with cancer. I am a fully certified search in wilderness first aider for the Norwegian Red Cross. I performed for the Queen of Norway. Like that's actually crazy. Sometimes I don't even believe it myself, but I had the chance to perform with other students for the Queen of Norway. I performed during Carnival in Brazil. I mean, I did so many things that made me the person that I am today and gave me organization skills, adaptability, the capacity to navigate cultural differences, to basically, now that I kind of speak Portuguese, speak English, French, and Spanish, I can be thrown in about any country in the world and be able to like find a footing. But that's something that I wasn't saying, I wasn't valuing because I was comparing myself to people that did not do, they went to the classic path. And I did not. So comparing myself was already stupid because it wasn't even on the same basis. So I took all of this, sat with it, and realized that all the skills that I acquired through all of my experiences can be one way or another sold and applied for a master's degree in public health. Anyway, so Now that I knew that I wanted to be in public health, I had to find a way to be in there because I have a bachelor in biology. So I'm taking a gap here in order to do an internship, and it gives me time to apply to master's degrees in the field that I want to study. And I think I found my calling. I will keep you updated, but I really think I found my field. What I wanted to explain with that long ass story time is that we all have this moment where we struggle with our path. Some people more than others, some people longer than others. I have friends who graduated in one go and hate what they did. So now they're working in fields that are not what they graduated in and want to go back to school. I have people who graduated, worked in their field, and then went back to school to study something completely opposite of what they did. People went to school and then decided to be entrepreneurs, and that is fine, that is okay. We have to give ourselves grace and patience. And we have, I'm gonna say it, it's really hard to do, to stop comparing yourself to others. They did not go through the same thing that you did. They did not experience the thing that you did. So you cannot compare what you're doing to what they're doing. That is the hardest part. Comparison almost got me. Really, that is the hardest part. When I think about how I got to turn my life around and find back a calling and find back a reason to go back to school and a new career plan, I think about a TED Talk that I watched. I will put the link in the bio. And the first thing that he said was one of the first things that he said was find believers. Whether you want to change majors, whether you want to quit school and start your own company, whatever you want to do, you have to find people who believe. Because people around you are going to be quick to say, that's not for you, or just stick to the plan. I remember when I wanted to take my gap year in Brazil, a lot of my uncles were like, that's some rich people shit. That's some white people shit. Don't do it. Just go to school and finish and start making money. Find believers. Find people who will tell you, okay, that's a good idea, and but will also be able to guide you in how to execute this good idea. Network, that's important. Get out of your bed, get out of your comfort zone and network. And experiment. Also experiment. I know that a lot of experimenting that I did was volunteering and getting student jobs, and it really helped me to kind of pinpoint what I want in my professional life and what I definitely do not want in my professional life. And it also gets you skills that you can market. You can sell and twist and turn any skill that you have into fitting in the field that you want to get in, even though it's not related. I know that, for example, I have an internship, right? In a public health research center in Kenya. One thing that I did was use all my experience as a junior recruiter, my experience as a cashier, everything. I took those skills and turned them into valuable assets for public health. It takes time to transition. It takes time. It takes a lot of thinking, a lot of self reflection, a lot of self doubt. It takes a lot of time and patience, but you have to give yourself that. You won't be able to like switch from school to a business in a year. It's gonna take time. You have to build your project. You have to prepare yourself for the transition. You have to prepare your family for the transition sometimes. What I wanted to achieve with this whole lot of talking was, as usual, make you understand that you're not alone. If you're doubting yourself, if you're comparing yourself to others, if you sometimes feel envious or jealous of other people's success, it's okay. As long as you don't hurt someone because you feel bad for yourself, because that will never be something that I condone. You're not a bad friend because sometimes you look at your friend and you're like, I wish I was her, or I wish I had her life. You're not a bad friend. You're not a bad friend because you muted this friend who is showing her success for your mental health. You're not a bad friend because sometimes being good to yourself means being a little selfish. And that's fine. Once again, I'm not telling anyone to like ruin someone else's career, business, or school or diploma because you don't have what you want or you don't have what you need. So take the time that you need You might find your path now. Maybe you already found it. Maybe you think you found it and you're gonna switch in a few years. Everything, all of it is fine. Because there's so many options in life, you get to explore all of it. For today's ink part, it was kind of hard, so I'm gonna suggest two books and one TV show. Actually, maybe two TV shows. One is called Girl Boss. I think it's about the creator of an online shop. Like it's based on a real story, and it's about the creator of Nasty Gal. Nasty Gal. And then the second one is Insecure. I think all of you watched Insecure. But watching Issa find her path professionally in life, that's like I never looked at the show like this. But rewatching it while I was struggling with what I wanted to do, that's when I realized she's going through it. So yeah, Insecure for sure. And for the books, you have The Neighbor Favor, which is a romance. So yeah, it's more focused on the love part, but it's also about a young woman who wants to be a children's book editor and she's stuck into nonfiction. So you can watch her finding her voice and managing to get into the field that she wants. Another book that I didn't consider it at first because, to be honest, the main character pissed me off for like most of the book. But I do think that she pissed me off because all the doubts, the self doubting, the self loathing was too close to home. Like it felt too much like me. So that's why I didn't like it as much. It's called Bouquets and Breakups. It's not that much centered about a love story. It's more about friendships and finding your professional path. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for listening and see you next week. Bye bye.